It's fantastic to be here at the African Leadership Network, a great opportunity for us to be together and to really look into the future. And the future really is going to be governed by technology and innovation. And to start off with, let's see if we get that right. We got the first slide. For a bit of innovation, let's go to the clip. How about a car like this? Where's the sound? Now that's innovation. Can you imagine if that was the motor industry and you could do something like that? Well, that is not necessarily possible today. But what I thought I'd do is take you through a few examples of what's happening in the mobile space. And to start off with, I'd like to take you to a great, great innovator. How many of you here know who Freddie Mac is? Nobody? Well, let me tell you, Freddie Mac is an African from Soweto who invented one of the most important inventions of the last 30 years. He invented the vuvuzela. There he is. He looks a little bit weird. Of course, he's dressed up to look like that. But interestingly enough, during the winter time, the vuvuzela application on the iPhone was one of the most successful applications where you could have your iPhone making the noise of a vuvuzela in the colors of 9 football teams. You could have 1 vuvuzela or 9 vuvuzelas as an application. Just this week, Vuvuzela 2 has come out. It's selling for $1.50 per app, and I can guarantee you that that vuvuzela is going to do really well. So the reason I'm showing you innovation is because one of the things that innovation and mobile is really important about is bringing prosperity. I thought I'd talk about something called EO. EO! Not that EO, but EO, that's entrepreneurial opportunity. So let's have a look at some of the key laws of entrepreneurial opportunity. When citizens can pursue new ideas and opportunities, it leads to higher levels of income and well-being. An entrepreneurial environment leads to innovation activity and access to much wider opportunity if it's funded effectively. So all of you funders and VCs in the audience, please listen carefully because we need you. Another key law is enhanced ICT infrastructure grows commercial productivity, and the future of Africa is going to depend upon very sophisticated and very people-orientated ICT. Another key law is citizens must believe that hard work minus corruption pays off. And the beautiful thing about innovation and technology is that corruption can really be pushed aside because the technology works on the software component, not the human component, but you still need smart humans to run it. And Africa is very smart and has a lot of smart people, but that is a key element. And finally, one of the key laws is when a country increases effective entrepreneurial activity, individuals experience satisfaction. You saw William Kamwamba and that fantastic innovation he brought about. Experience satisfaction from earning their success, and prosperity and national self-confidence increases. So technology, very important. Innovation, very important. The World Bank has shown now in repeated studies that every country that manages to increase its mobile penetration sees an increase in GDP. The Deputy Prime Minister of Zimbabwe made that point during his talk very effectively, that this kind of connecting people who are not necessarily on the grid for the internet would be very, very important to bring in terms of mobile. And at this point, I'd like to pull up a video about something that's really quite interesting, because for the first time, we have a prosperity index. This prosperity index is drawn from 89 different variables. So Raphael, our master of all applications here on the sound desk, let's have a look at this.
Which are the world's most and least prosperous countries? Is it all about money? Does simply measuring a country's GDP provide an accurate assessment of the overall state of that country? In March of 1968, Robert Kennedy did the exam.
I wrote that right now, count air pollution and cigarette advertising. It counts the destruction of the redwoods and the loss of our natural wonders and chaotic sprawl. Yet the Grove National Forest is not allowed the health of our children, the quality of their education, or the joy of their play. It does not include the intelligence of our public debate
wealth and well-being. We measure 110 countries, covering more than 90% of the world's population. The index comprises 8 sub-indexes, which are foundations for prosperity. These sub-indexes are made up of 89 variables. Prosperity. What exactly is it? The index defines it to include both material wealth and individual well-being. So what does the 2010 Legatum Prosperity Index tell us about the world?
It pays to be a democracy. Entrepreneurship and opportunity correlate more closely to nations
It's about balance.
to Europe's or emerging. It's hard to be prosperous as a large country.
Economic growth is not enough for the BRICS.
History shows that every nation needs to find its own path to success. The Legatum Prosperity Index can help. By identifying the foundations of prosperity, it can enlighten national leaders and everyday citizens alike about what matters most to increasing wealth and well-being. To find out more, visit prosperity.com.
Let's stop the video. So why I played this to you is there are more aspects to prosperity than just money, and one of the key drivers is mobile. So the tools of prosperity creation, colloquial innovation, local invention, local ingenuity. The Vuvuzela is a very simple form of it, but just look at the success of M-Pesa in Kenya, now spreading to Uganda and spreading to South Africa. What we're finding now in the United States and in Europe is the M-Pesa model is actually being spread there. It's even spreading to India. India now with 720 million mobile subscribers, growing at about 15 to 18 million per month, are now seeing that mobile money and the mobile wallet is a very, very important future marker. Another very important one is mobile health. Can you imagine with mobile health, if you could take your phone out and your mother was suffering from heart problems, she could take her phone, put it against her chest, there would be a very sophisticated cardiac reading that would be sent by SMS text message to her doctor or her caregiver or her hospital, or even if it's rural environments where people would be able to get medical treatment by doctor through Skype and through the mobile phone. Mobile health is a very, very key driver going forward. Mobile networks and devices, MTN have been doing incredible work with their 120 million subs in 21 countries. We've seen here in Ethiopia, obviously one of the big imperatives of the Deputy Prime Minister this morning was to really encourage the fast acceleration of mobile, because the swifter and the more depth there is with mobile implementation, there's better economy and better prosperity for a country. Transformational education. Mobile education is the next big thing. All of you here have heard about one laptop per child, the initiative that was started by Nicholas Negroponte from the MIT Media Lab. Well, how about one 7-inch screen per child? Those of you who have an iPad and see how iPads have transformed, 3 million units sold in just about 9-10 months by Apple. But now you can get cheaper versions of a 7-inch iPad. Can you imagine if every African school kid had an iPad-type tablet that could have education? I'm working with Sir Bob Geldof and his Teachers TV. As the Deputy Prime Minister of Zimbabwe said, imagine getting a lecture from Harvard or from MIT. Well, just imagine if school kids could be using a 7-inch notebook, a little pad like an iPad, and that would give them the opportunity of having lessons, language lessons, mathematics. In the Middle East, kids are now able to learn mathematics on their phone. In India, people are now getting secondary education and certification for professional qualifications on their BlackBerry or on their mobile phone. So mobile education is a real key driver going forward. And of course, another important thing about mobile is the ability of tweeting. Hillary Clinton, in her private office at the State Department, has an innovation and technology group. Recently, during the elections in Darfur, she got in contact with a telco by the name of Zain, which is now owned by a big Indian operator, Bharti Airtel, and she got Zain to put on a campaign for people to text to a particular short code if there was irregularity at the ballot boxes. They got thousands of texts that then alerted the authorities as to where there was funny business going on at the ballot box. It created open government and governance. So this is very important. Tweeting, very, very big indeed. Of course, the embracing of next generation technologies, really important too. We're now going into 3G in most African countries, and in certain cases, we're seeing some of the first trains of 4G. But of course, what we now take for granted on voice, just imagine what it's going to be like when all of Africa are on mobile web-enabled phones, where you would find people that are off the grid in terms of the web and the internet will now have the ability to go and connect on the internet with their mobile phone. Can you imagine what that will do for consumers? And then, of course, VCs and funding. We're with you, it won't be long. So which of these are you progressing? Mobile devices are really going to drive all of this. Mobile internet, online, payments, this is really where we're going, really, really important. But what about social media? Social networks, Facebook now 500 million, enormous, tweeting now about 200 million and growing. Just look at the rise, and this is just in the United States. Almost every day, social media, very, very important, helping drive the political governance, driving commerce, and driving communication and interaction between people. So here we are, looking at what is purported to be what is going to be the global internet by 2013. And just look, Africa is a little bit behind, which is why mobile is playing such a vital role in being able to enable people to have a mobile internet. Imagine what that is going to do. So, Chad Hurley, founder of YouTube, made this statement. He didn't think there was going to be much difference between three key devices. It's all about size and presentation. Will it be the special African iPad? Who here in the audience is going to be responsible for making one? Look at this lady here. Do you like that dress made of beef, pure meat? I do all of the mobile strategy for Lady Gaga. She said to me, I've got 6.5 million followers on Twitter. Can you get me 25 million in 6 months? 25 million in 6 months? She says, that's what I want. You go out there and get it. So I'm asking you, all my African friends, to help me do that. So finally, what will you be doing to foster this? So our African Leadership Network challenge is, get Africa into the Prosperity Index's top 50 in the next 3 years. Are you ready to lead? Can you do it? Say yes. That's what we've got to do. The ALN can do it. Thank you. Thank you. As they say in Ethiopia, Amusu Genalo. Thank you.